There it is.
Hello.
Good timing.
We're live,
I'm
pal.
here. I'm still heating up food, but I'm here.
Okay.
Cool. We'll get to your stuff in a second. But for now, to recap from last time, which I don't have to do a long recap for because it was just a couple days ago.
Yeah,
we
last
did it,
time.
guys.
Hey.
Recent for once.
I know.
Yay.
You guys wrapped up your escape from the abyss by banishing an Armonite into the Nether Realm, confusing a bunch of Babu, and then escaping up some stairs. You then made your way across the plains of the Plain of Demogorgon to make it back to the portal. Along the way, you discovered that due to some choices and due to you guys actually killing Demogorgon as opposed to just delaying him, again, no shame from me. The plane was now going to be probably engulfed in some level of a civil war between the beings of Orcus and Graziz. Not wanting to stay and figure out what that's going to look like, you all made your way back to the portal.
Yeah.
Passed a skill challenge of infusing magic into Trev in order to close said portal, and then plane shifted your way out. Upon arriving back in the basement of Jersalheim, you all re-met with your Rakshasa quote-unquote friend Fallon, who, knowing what y'all did, promised to give you the information that was bartered to you. Upon returning upstairs, Petunia confessed her love for Marleman, and everyone had a duah moment, except for Nyx, who, overwhelmed by what she had seen in between the magical portal, kind of sat down, not really into it, or a little out of it is more appropriate, not into it. That's different.
I mean, I'm not into it.
I would argue Marleman is also shocked and not really sure what he's thinking.
I thought
Fair.
Aramil was the only one not paying attention because he went to go
Well,
hang out with
Nyx-
some.
But he was chilling with the moss. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Aramel ran away to go take some time with some plants. Emily, do you want to explain what Nyx is doing right now?
So I said it in a private message to Gary like afterwards, but I just didn't say it like in the moment, but because a lot was happening. But basically I said that, like when that stuff was happening, like when they kind of came through the portal and like started moving towards like where they saw Petunia, that basically Nyx kind of just was moving kind of slower than everyone else, and sort of like as she went kind of just like stopped, and then if there was no chairs, she probably just sat like against a wall or on the ground or something.
Yeah, no real chairs at the moment.
Yeah, no chairs probably accessible, I think, where we were. So she probably just sat like against a wall or something. It was just kind of quiet and just kind of like not like shell shocked, but you know what I mean, just kind of like processing.
Yeah.
What she had seen and the implications and like, what that means for her. And it was a little
And we'll get into that in this session.
Yeah.
So we pick up approximately 2 hours after that nice reunion. You've all reported your success at closing the portal to the High Council of Jersalheim, who have, quote-unquote, graciously agreed to set you up in rooms in the city for however long you would like. Granted, you probably already had those if you had just asked, but they at least offered it without you asking, which is nice. Valen had hung back and promised to meet you all at the Rusky Casket after you reported your success to the council. So now, 2 hours later, you have asked Jasket to clear out the casket for your meeting. So he has cleared the bar, and you all have full reign over the area. You can have whoever there to also listen in to this conversation with the Rakshasa that you want. Just tell me. For now, I just have the 6 of you plus the Rakshasa himself.
I'm trying to think. We had sent everyone else out of the room the first time we chatted with this guy because we weren't sure.
Correct. Jeffet and Petunia were in the basement. They were there, but they weren't involved.
I don't see the need to get anyone else involved at this point.
Yeah. Me either. I think it's fixed.
Okay. So Jesket, after clearing the bar of Golden Forge patrons, Trunks as well has, upon arriving, charged off through the city to head to the temple to go meet with his family for a bit and kind of sit rep and talk about what happened. So he is unavailable at the moment as well.
Fair enough.
Gary doesn't want to play Trunks anymore at the moment.
Fair.
So
yeah, I think we should invite Trunks. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. Well,
He's
So-
there. He's
so
there.
is-
He's just in a spitting fit of rage, just in the corner. Just all the
Yeah,
time.
just drinking.
Chewing on a chair.
So yes,
Yeah.
Jessica has
Gnawing on
cleared
the
the bar.
remaining chair.
Yeah, Jessica has cleared the bar of Golden Forges and locked the door behind him, promising to return relatively soon. So Valen kind of settles in. He's back in his usual cat-like form, kind of itching a bit of goo off his fur from coming out of being a dwarf, and says, "Well then, where shall we start?"
That was your shoot job.
So are we? So we're like checking in with him to like tell him what happened, basically.
He
or-
promised way more information about the prophecy if you guys pulled this off.
Right. Okay.
I think you owe some answers, dude.
First thing I want to know is where you found out about the prophecy in the first place.
Well, I've had my ears into a number of different places throughout the years, and you're not the first to go looking for the individuals of prophecy. So, put two and two together and realized what was happening.
Hmm. Okay.
What? So when you say we're not the first, you mean like you've dealt with people who have been doing this before?
I've dealt with them. We've dealt with them. It comes and goes.
How long has the prophecy been a thing?
Last, our records and archives can show at least 18 generations going backwards.
That's
He
interesting.
looks at Trev.
I was
I
going to say,
mean-
what's a generation to a Rakshasa, though?
He looks at Trev and says, "You should have a good idea how long your lady has been locked up in her cage. I can only assume she says far too long."
Nah. Yeah, I think you misunderstand my relationship with her.
He kind of looks back at you, Phaedra, and says, "By generation, I mean the cycles of the prime material, the usual 50 to 60 years. So, somewhere in the area of about 20,000 years here in the prime material."
Jesus. Okay. It's a lot.
oh,
Okay. So then
It's a while.
I don't know. I never really thought about it before, but I guess so that means. But there is only like. So there's only like the one prophecy though for this, and by that,
Oh, certainly.
by
Every
that-
culture
huh?
every culture we have come across or has walked here, and he kind of gestures all around him, has heard the prophecy, adapted it, taken it into their own culture in some way, but everything boils down to basically the same. 6 individuals who are all, 8 individuals
I was
who
going
are
to say, I
all
thought it was 8.
paragon. Yep, sorry, 8 individuals who are all paragons of some broad strength, led by 2 leaders of some kind, who can change the world, walk between planes, and great crises using the strength of their souls or some nonsense like that.
So new people are born all the time, kind of.
Certainly.
Not all the time, because that seems excessive. But you know what I mean? Like people get born new.
Correct. As one dies within one of the races, another one is born within the race.
Okay.
So,
Like, how can this be going on when some of
So-
the people?
yeah, I was going to say, so some people, there's been people found before, but not all 8 found at once.
Correct.
Okay.
also, so you just said within the race.
Yeah.
There's 8 different races of people that we're looking for.
The Rakshasa points at Armel and goes, "And you just hit the best bit of information that I believe I have that you all don't.
That's
There's only one person of prophecy within each race,
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
or at least the sentient races. The humans, the elves, the dwarves, the orcs, the dragons, the genasi, the dragonborn,
Said that already.
Did I? I forget how many I've said. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. The gnomes, which I
Oh,
haven't said yet.
Halflings?
No, and half-breeds.
Like,
No
half
halflings? That's interesting.
No halflings.
Random.
No.
Okay.
listen, the hobbits had their time.
yeah.
So
Say
like a half elf.
No
Yeah.
king
A half-elf, a half-orc.
portals.
Ah, yes.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure we already have a halfling.
You have-
halfling.
So far, you guys have found a full-blooded elf,
Yep.
a human, and a half-elf.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was Rakshasa Man there when Petunia started glowing? I forget.
Yes, he was. He did watch
Damn
that
it.
happen.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
So, do you have any other like leads or something, like people you might know of? Or
He kind of stops and thinks about it for a second and goes, well, we've had our eye on one or two individuals who may fit your description at the very least.
I know why
they would
certain
be-
people might want this prophecy to happen, but what would you get out of it?
I, kind of shrugs and says, would get nothing. This is purely a barter of information. You all reclaimed a realm essentially for my lord, and as such, he has authorized me to give you as much information as you want. Besides, he again looks at Trev. The less interaction from powerful individuals here in the prime material realm is better for us. Less competing forces.
Fair enough.
Okay. So the couple individuals you have your eye on, would you be willing to share
Certainly.
anymore?
Certainly, and he pulls out a small notebook and says, well, to start, there's a certain airship captain, dwarven in nature, who has showed robust spirit. He may
Okay.
fit what you're looking for.
Like now, Phaedra has her notebook and is taking notes furiously.
Oh my god, there's a Sid in this.
Okay.
There's a wind genasi.
Are there many
Who-
airships in the underground?
No, actually.
Okay.
Weird.
So, okay.
we'll find,
So,
we'll figure that out.
See.
Don't worry.
There's a wind genasi who has been living within the human settlement, who you may be interested in.
There's a lot of human settlements.
I would assume that he's referring to the captain, or the capital.
I am, in fact, returning to the capital. Well done, sir.
What is the capital's name for Heather's note-taking purposes again? I have forgotten.
Right.
Break.
It's spelled like in a way.
Briek.
There you go.
Thank you.
It's spelled in some kind
It's
of way.
been a while, so I just couldn't
Some
remember the
kind
actual
of way
name.
really got to me.
Gary gestures broadly at a thing he drew up 5 years ago with that name on it. That he's been gesturing at for 5 years.
Yeah, someday.
It's this guy has been there. He says there is a certain dragon that lives within a city that can no longer be found. He's quite studious. I think you'd get along with him quite well.
Now that is what I was actually going to ask you about.
The city
That
that can't
city.
be found.
We'll get
Yeah.
there.
Like we,
Just to be clear. Sorry, go on.
So that was the Dragonborn, the dwarf, the
Wind Genasi.
the Genasi. Thank you. The only two that are left are the orc and the gnome. The gnome, yeah, he sort of smiles and says, "We've not been able to find the gnome at the very least, but judging by our own records, we at least can pick out what attitude they have." And finally, there is the orc, who has been most troublesome. We believe that the orc has not shifted generations.
So it's somebody who's an older halfling?
Baby.
Has outlived any orc who has ever walked the prime material plane.
How long do half-orcs live to?
Half orcs, no idea. Full-blooded orcs traditionally only live 40 to 60 years, but that's usually from interkilling.
Fair.
Old age doesn't happen very often, but 110, 120 years maybe.
So someone's, I guess maybe they're like hidden or like living a more hermetic lifestyle, so that way
Yeah.
keep
Any
to
idea
themselves.
how long? Any idea how long this orc has been around? Longer
My
than
guess is at least 500 years.
Oh boy,
Holy shit!
That doesn't make sense.
that's an old
mean-
fella.
That's
With
a lot.
crazy magic, anything is possible.
Yeah.
We could be
Okay.
dealing with some.
And,
We've
uh,
weirdly
well,
enough,
it's,
some of the
uh,
most direct necromancy we've dealt with was around some orcs. So
Right.
That's fair.
You also said that you know what the gnome's trait is. You don't know who the gnome is, but you know what the trait is.
That's correct.
What is the trait?
We believe that they may be the aspect of peace.
Peace.
Beast.
Peace.
Peace.
Oh,
Peace.
all right.
I know.
We gotta find an
gnome.
extremely chill gnome.
I'm sure it won't be difficult at all.
Lil Peace.
Don't we know
Never
a gnome?
has she?
Not that I've noticed.
Sigh. Really?
The time that I disintegrated, and I'm sure that I was a little
no.
The only, I mean,
Not
the
that
only,
time.
in my experience, like 100% of the gnomes I've ever really known are really hard to find. So that will take a while.
And the Rakshasa kind of shrugs and says, and that's all we have at the moment.
Word.
City that can't be found.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was a lot of
That
helpful
was a lot of good
information. So
stuff.
thank you.
You wouldn't
While we're
happen
here.
to have any specifics on like physical appearance or any other traits on like the Dragonborn, like type of dragon they might be?
We know that they are a silver scaled dragonborn, but that is all.
Thank you. More notes for me. Thank you.
We're silver scale.
So you mentioned the city that cannot be found. It's not the first time this has come up in some of our searching, and I believe that is actually a place that I have a vested interest in locating.
Yeah, we have a
You
couple
or
other
yours
things.
Have
to-
any information about even a start to a trail that we might be able to find?
He kind of sighs and says, unfortunately not. But I also have a vested interest in getting into the City of Glass. There's something there that I want. So I will keep my eyes open. If I hear of any pathways or signs of it, I'll let you know.
I have a question. Have you heard anything about the Gary? What did we decide the name was? Because I can't.
Oh, I finally renamed it. It is no longer whatever I told you it was.
Okay. What did you name it?
Well, for everybody else, I had originally named this place New Gnomeburg.
Ooh.
Awesome.
It has now been.
I seriously almost just Freudian slipped and just said Nomergon. Like,
Yeah, Nomergon Jr.
Yeah, Nomergon Jr. was also briefly placed a little information there. It's now called Hasper. Haspur.
You're kind of. I don't know if it's just me, but you're kind of lagging, kind of disconnecting a little too.
Your internet's real shitty.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Is it better now?
A little.
Hang on, let me see if there's anything I can turn off. Better?
You can also
Arts.
downgrade. If you can downgrade the video quality on your webcam, probably.
Yeah, probably.
That'll probably make it a lot easier. It might be fuzzy, but
Yeah.
you'll be static.
Do
Whoa.
that for now. Better?
Close up.
Turn the video quality back up.
Yeah, I was about to say, this got real bad. Am I better?
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
somewhat.
so.
You seem somewhat better. Yeah.
Okay. Hasper. Oh God, no. Stop it. Oh God.
Yeah, I was going to say, things started getting real weird over here.
Sorry about that. Hasper. Haspur.
Asper.
Are there
Okay.
a lot of cats there?
So you were saying next?
I was just wondering if you've heard any news on Hasper.
He For once, there's an almost worried and emotional reaction across the Rakshasa's face that isn't just lofty cockiness. As he looks at you and says, "Do you have family there?"
Yes.
He sighs and says, "There has been a crisis, one might call it. From the Great Lake, a new overlord has taken control of that region.
What does that mean?
A blue dragon has decided to create its nest over the remains of Hasper.
The remains?
Well, no one's getting in or out right now, so we can't really say much more."
Want to go kill a blue dragon?
Yeah, about the dragon or about how long this is.
We know the dragon's name is Stonefang. We know that it is a greedy and petulant creature, much like most chromatic dragons, and that it brought its full legion along with it. So,
When did it get there?
approximately a month ago.
Gary, does that correlate in time with when the dragon we know left the monastery?
Give or take a week.
Okay.
What do you mean by full legion?
Dire worms, kobolds, cultists, anything that it can bend to its will, it's brought in to occupy the area.
Okay.
And
We
the-
believe, and the Rakshasa kind of crosses its arms, we believe that it is mustering a force in order to take the capital soon.
Is Hasper near
Ambitious.
the hospital?
Relatively.
Okay.
The caspital.
Does
It's
it
the caspital.
Sorry.
does it actually have anywhere near the strength it would need to take the human capital?
I cannot say.
Well, they got a friggin' dragon.
Dragon?
Well,
Depending on how big it
this
is.
is the capital doesn't. Like,
If it's an ancient dragon, that would be very bad.
yeah.
We believe it is a quite ancient dragon. Yes.
God, of course it is. It's fuckers.
Well, that sounds like something that needs our attention.
I put my hand on Nyx and I said, if you want after this, I can scry on someone if you need me to.
Thank you.
Also, we could like go there and kill the fucker.
Yeah, we're
That'd
going
be
there.
all right.
Yes, but
That's
it's also
gonna
good to
happen.
like get an idea.
Yeah, I know.
Can I scry on a location or it has to be an object?
It has to be an object or person. Location kind of goes along with that.
Okay.
What is the closest tree I know to this place?
Roll a wisdom check.
I suppose I
And
can try.
I'm only letting you do this because you're RML.
We can also ask Nyx if you're. Are there a lot of trees in that
Oh,
area?
well, yeah, I'm a forest.
Oh, for sure. Like,
Is there like
yes,
a particularly
Hasper
big
was
one?
built into trees. It is
Oh, okay.
along the great forest.
It is
I'm-
true.
I'm not as familiar with it, so
It was more. This role was more. Has Armel walked through there, and if so, does he remember one specific tree?
Yeah.
Fair
18.
18.
Yeah.
Sure, you know of a pretty large willow tree that you walked past once, that you could totally be
You know this
friends
guy?
with.
Yeah, I probably do.
All right. We can go there.
I mean, was like the willow tree in a position where if we walked through it, we would not be underneath a dragon?
Yeah, relatively. You could hope, at least. It's hard to know without directly saying it or directly seeing what's going on. So of the thing I just sent you, the map, you'll notice there is 2 houses on top of a river coming off the Great Lake to the east.
Yeah, I get it bigger.
Mhm.
That is where Hasper is.
2 houses.
Go so nice.
At the human capital, the giant city on the other
Yes.
side of the river. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Look at those mountains,
east?
Mm,
So,
The river.
west.
sorry, west side of the map.
Oh, this.
I'm looking at it upside down. The west side of the map, the two to the north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You said the lake. You meant the lake.
I think it's east,
Yeah.
Yes, the big ass lake in the middle.
All right.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Word.
Sick.
Okay.
So when do we leave?
Well, we can try and finish up anything we need to do here. I can try and. Who would we know in the capital? Maybe we can ask for some assistance.
In the capital,
Yes.
not many of you. The only person who had spent any amount of time in the capital at all is Sai, who lived there for a time.
Okay. Have we not been to the capital then?
Never.
So.
Okay.
I-
Sorry. This is just me not remembering places we've been.
Not even like close, I don't think.
Okay.
You guys have
So
never gone to that part of the map.
Okay.
I have wanted to do this since it was brought up in the chat a while back, but I know a guy.
Okay.
Give me a chance to contact him. I'll see what I can do.
If you give me like a description of him, I can try sending a message to him. If you can draw.
It'd be really funny if you got the wrong guy.
Yeah, that'd be
I mean,
awkward.
I can try. I mean, also, if you just give me a description, I can scry on him. Then I know what he looks like, and then I can send a message to him.
There are
Valen
easy
kind of
ways.
stands. Valen stands and dusts off his robe a bit and goes, "Well, if that's the extent of the information you need from me, I must be off."
I have one question left.
Hmm.
Do you know someone named Glosriel?
Why, yes, I do.
Was he a friend of yours?
He winks a bit, and you see just the smallest shade come over his face.
The smallest.
Of
I'm sorry.
shade come over his face of
Oh,
purple
okay.
skin, and kind of deep black eyes as he smiles and says, "I know him pretty well."
Okay. Just kind of like, well, I didn't need that today. Do you know who he?
He looks at Sai and says, "Can you explain, please?"
Yeah.
This is all you, buddy. You dug this hole.
No, I got this one.
I ain't stepping in this minefield.
No. I know. I'm seeing if he'll go with it.
The Rakshasa just sort of laughs, just idly.
Uh-huh.
You do remember that in all your interactions with Glosriel, he did keep his hands folded behind his back.
Okay. So all right, because I had a thing. If I forgot, I was going to write a message on the paper thing because I gave him the other half of that paper.
Sure, you could try that.
No. I know. I'm saying that was going to be my plan if I had forgotten to ask about him. It's like, well, all right, cool.
Very well. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just kind of look at Sai, just kind of like, God damn it, because I know, like, I can sense Sai just like laughing at me in the corner.
It's rare that someone and Trev agree on something, but beautiful.
The Rakshasa leaves the bar, and you guys are left on your own.
Well, okay, now I don't feel bad anymore. I was just gonna be like, who did he worship? If he was a different dude, like, oh, I want because I was curious because he never like said like who he had intended it to be. He just said he was going to try and cause discord and stuff. I must have asked him at some point if he knew him, but maybe I didn't.
If you asked who, if who knew who?
If Glazriel had known the Rakshasa, but I don't know if I'd actually asked him that or not. I can't remember.
You did not.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Mostly because you took very special care to not reveal who you were working with or for.
Fair enough. Okay. Neat.
So, with that nice bit of bartering information, we'll now move into the 2-week accelerated window. Now, I say you guys are taking 2 weeks, give or take, here in Jerselheim without going to Hasper for 2 very specific reasons. 1, all attempts to contact the guy from Psy. Let's say if this was a Persona game, there'd be an exclamation point a Thursday and a half away.
Okay.
The first couple attempts to contact them don't work, but
Man,
it will eventually.
the fog will come after several days of rain.
Exactly.
Need to prepare.
Mostly because, Sai, do you want to say who you're attempting to contact?
Sure. So this is a dude in the human capital. He's someone after I started doing, we'll say, bounty hunting for Oberon. He is a bounty hunter in the capital with a lot of underworld connections. Pretty well known. Not, got his hands on a lot of pots, so he would have a lot of information. He's also a very dangerous dude, so if he's hard to get a hold of, it'd be something bad.
Naturally. Okay.
And you infer that he is currently out on work and is therefore incommunicado.
We'll say that's what my contact got back to me on.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for the next week and a half or so, you guys, to 2 weeks, you guys have some downtime. Day 1, there is a mail delivery. A couple of things make their way to you guys that have been sent to Jerselheim in your care. You assume it was sent to Jerselheim because that's kind of the last place you guys told people you were going before fucking whirlwind of insanity picks up.
Maybe we should get a house.
You have a boat.
The boat's not an address.
Nix, you receive a letter. Sai, you actually also receive a letter.
Sweet.
And Phaedra, you receive a letter.
Okay.
Nix, yours is typed out. I just sent it to you. Please read that as soon as you can. Sai, your letter is actually from your old master, the blacksmith you used to work under.
Okay.
Not the other master.
I was gonna say.
Oberon sent
Nope, not
that guy either.
Nope. There's a third master involved. The letter is very simple, simply asking you for new recipes, new materials you may have come up with. It's all just very pleasant, very innocuous, nothing major.
Is there subtext to it?
Make an insight check. Or an investigation check, let's say.
Investigation? That's a... What modifier is that?
Intelligence, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is straight. So I'm not an educated man. That is a 9.
Great. Nope. It's a straightforward letter about blacksmithing and being a blacksmith.
Confused.
You always
Why
have to
this-
take a look.
It's just weird that this individual is contacting me. So
Yes, it is. Phaedra, yours is from the monks that you had met previously.
The Boots of Celestian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It would appear that this letter has been rerouted a couple times. It was sent to Lathander and then has now been bounced up here.
Fair enough.
Mostly whatever messenger was trying to catch you guys heard on the wind somewhere. I think they're in Jerselheim, so they came this way.
They don't have
Simply saying that they are planning on building a new church, and that the idea of building a new church on wheels is the current running idea, and would love your input.
That weirdly makes sense, because Celestian doesn't really have too many temples, considering he's the god of wandering. So yeah.
Correct. but they wanted to come up with a new and more like not singular, but a structure of some kind to their worship. But they also still want to keep that highlighted.
I'm just imagining an RV with like a crucifix on the top.
Yeah. Let's go down south. You'll see plenty of those.
Okay. Good to know.
And that's it.
Okay.
And then next, you have your letter.
Yeah, I do.
You don't have to share it with anybody if you don't want to.
No, she probably wouldn't share it, but she'd probably be visibly upset.
Okay.
So where are we still? We're still in the bar, right? No.
This is a day later. You can be wherever you'd like to be at this point.
Okay.
Someone arrived at the inn you guys are staying in within the lower ring. Yes,
Okay.
you guys have a hotel essentially in the fancy part of town.
Okay.
Rubbing shoulders with a lot of people who make a lot of money.
She would have read it probably in the room then, like not just like during a hangout session or something. Like she would have read it privately.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not gonna share it right now, but yes, she is.
Are you visibly like? Are you around us? Does anybody else?
No, that's
Okay.
the thing. I don't think she would be.
Okay.
Would I have attempted to find? I would have probably looked for Nyx at some point though, because I asked her if she wanted me to scry on any of her family.
I mean, you could do that if you'd like.
Just whenever Emily wants me to find her character, because she's very good at hiding. So if she doesn't want to be found, I trust she won't be.
That's fair.
It's also a big city.
Yeah. I mean, if Phaedra was like in the building when I read it, I would probably find her and ask her to do the scrying then. So I don't know. We can play it that way.
Before we do that, we're actually going to cut over to a different scene, just so Morgan can go and walk the dog real quick.
I gotta go walk the dogs.
Do you want to do this now, or do you want to do this when you come back?
I didn't know if you had anything leading up to it.
No, it's literally just whenever you want to do it.
Okay, let me go.
I would assume. Let's put it this way: I would assume that this scene happens within the first 2 days.
This scene happens absolutely the first night.
Yeah. So let's cut to that one.
It's not what anybody thinks it is. It's
Heyo.
really not that.
Welcome to making everybody uncomfortable. Where
Welcome to
Terry and Morgan act out fucking.
Everybody get ready to hear all of the long paragraphs of text I'm sending Gary today, trying to basically say
Constitution,
no.
Constitution, charisma.
Say again?
Anyway,
Nothing at all.
Yep.
Okay,
let's do it.
We got some dexterity, but
so
Let's just say the roll is hard.
So basically, mirroring or like continuing from where he kind of was when he came back through, kind of not really what I would say his normal jovial self, and he's kind of not been that person too much as of recently. I think this trip was like the final straw for him, and he for some reason things are bothering him, and so he, after the long hug that he had with Petunia and all that nonsense, he basically was like, hey, I really need to talk to you, but like once we're done with our debrief. And so
later that evening, she comes and meets you at the hotel, and you guys walk for a while within the city relatively quietly, not a lot of talk back and forth, both because you're both pretty awkward people, but also because there's just a lot. Let's just say
that the level of a lotness is such that it is ruining whatever charisma Marleman had.
Eventually you guys do make your way back up to the second ring, to the Red Rose, And you all make, she lets you into the shop. She does tell you that after meeting with Hamish during the week you were away, she now owns the shop in full.
That's good.
Hamish has left her this entire place. She makes some light small talk about not really knowing how to run a business well, and much better at the magic part of things, less at the money part of things. Just very clearly trying to fill some sort of silent space before you cut in.
And Marleman cuts in and he just says, like, "What am I doing?"
Listening to you ramble, and I'm really sorry about rambling. It's just
No, that's not what I mean. I just feel like things have been in just such a spiral, and I have seen so many people die and so many people get hurt, and I've killed, and I had something that I could potentially use to fix things, and I did use that, but now I'm worried my luck is going to be over soon, and I'm really not feeling it anymore.
What do you mean? Had a way to fix? It sounds like you and your friends are fixing things, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, things were really close. Things were very close. I don't want to. There were so many of them. I don't even know how to feel about it other than the way I'm feeling now. And I'm scared. I'm very scared. And I think that's the moment where he like totally breaks down and kind of just like leans in for like a big hug. And like
and she's there to receive you, of course.
I would hope so.
Yes. There's another long period of silence before she kind of breaks the air and goes, "Well, do you feel like you have to keep doing this? I mean, you could help me here. I could use the help."
I don't know who else could fill these kinds of shoes other than my compatriots and I. There's a lot of brave people out there, and I only know, other than myself, one other person that's like me. I kind of think it's my duty to do something.
Pearl.
It's fine. She sort of sighs and pulls you a little closer and goes, "Well, when you're done,
Come on.
I do want," and you could see a faint glow kind of coming around her. She says, "I do want you here."
I love you too, Petunia.
Gurgle noises as completely just impossible to make words.
It's okay. It's okay.
She's gonna start having water like crazy shit as well.
Yeah.
You guys are.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. She sort of half smiles and says, "I mean, just from now on, make me a promise, okay? And promises are stronger than luck.
Yeah.
You're going to come back. You're going to walk away, but only when it's done, okay?"
I promise.
She sort of nods, and you guys
And
spend
then
the rest of the evening.
And then I like, so you want to like help me drown myself?
Quick cutaway on that one.
Is that and I immediately look back because like at this point I feel like I've not been cheered up, but I have like let out all of my feelings that nobody else knows this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Particularly. I mean, I'm sure people after that last bit may have noticed that he was not particularly happy. But yeah.
And you guys, spend more time together throughout this.
I'm gonna, since we have those 2 weeks, I'm gonna dedicate those 2 weeks to literally being at the shop, I think.
Okay.
Like, if she owns that thing, I kind of want to. Like, I feel like her and I have such a fleeting relationship that I want to spend some more time. Like,
Yeah. And for the most part, minus some things which might pull you away that we'll get to as we go.
yeah, totally.
You spend that 2-week period learning how to run a magic shop, how to put your magic to use, creating magical materials, how to enchant various items. You now have the ability to enchant minor magical items.
Oh, sweet. Hell yeah. Cool.
As Petunia teaches you that. And the thing you bring mostly is the ability to interact with customers well. So whereas Petunia spends
that.
Yeah, Petunia spends a lot of her time kind of floating in between the front and back room. You spend most of your time running the counter, interacting with customers who are coming in,
Signing
and kind of
autographs.
doing the bartering. People don't
Oh
actually
yeah.
recognize you.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Do I know I'm not the best of the best in that party. I'm the goofball. I know. But does anybody come in looking for like anything for any of us? This is a question about any of us. Like, do people notice us still, or is this
The celebrity status
has the
and
fervor
the,
died? Like,
it dies down after a couple of days. Like the first 3 days or so, it's a little weird. But after that, it dies down for the most part. As people just sort of accept, okay, they're here in the city. Like the ground's not shaking anymore. Worms aren't coming out of the ground, so they did something good for us. And I'm sure we'll find out in the next issue. There's a lot of that.
Roll to see how many of those you signed.
Yeah.
Fat zero.
We'll leave Marlem in there for now. Go walk your dogs.
Yeah, I got it.
We'll pick you back up in a second. Let's do the Nyx and Phaedra stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so I asked her if she wanted space. Presumably she asked for it, and like the next day or so I'd probably find her, ask her. Where are you?
So if you're coming to find me, then I would have been like in my room, whatever room I'm sitting in.
I'll knock.
It's funny. You've stopped in this room a couple of times and never seen her, but she mostly hasn't left.
Very fair, yeah. If I don't see her immediately, I just assume she's not there. I don't go really searching because I figure she'll hide.
For sure.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey. Do you still want me to, look in and see how your family's doing?
So I'm gonna have her kind of like take a deep breath and just say, that she's not okay. So she's gonna be like, I didn't want to show like everyone the letter yet, just because it. A lot of feelings of like guilt came with it and stuff. But I'm gonna show it to you. Just like don't like talk about it with everyone yet. I'm gonna have to talk to them about it eventually, but like I'm just not quite like mentally
Okay.
there yet. And so I show her the letter, which is just a letter from my family, like asking when I'm gonna come home to visit and help them out with like stuff, and they want to hear about like where I've been and what I've been doing and whatnot. And so I'm gonna like show her the letter and say, I need to scry on these people, but
Okay.
I wanted to do it privately because I'm a little concerned about the results.
That's understandable.
Heather, I sent you the letter.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Yeah.
I also put the prophecy in the chat if anyone needs to look at
Yeah,
it.
I needed a refresher on
Okie dokie.
the things.
Give me 1 second, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, read it.
So, okay. Who do you want me to scry on specifically?
So,
And I can use the letter as the focus, if you want.
yeah, like just my aunt who wrote it.
You're on? Okay. I forget, can you disguise yourself at all, or?
Can I?
Yes. Seeing if you can give me like an image of what this person looks like.
Oh.
That'll help me have a better
Uh,
shot.
you,
I think
you don't. There's not much more you can add on to it than using a focus that is from the person itself.
Oh, okay. Then, okay, yeah. I'll
Like,
try.
even knowing what the person looks like is great, but having something that they themselves have touched and owned
Oh, okay.
is
Perfect.
the
Cool.
best possible.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. All right. So just give me a sec. I won't be able to hear what you're saying while I'm scrying, I think. I don't think I'm ever actually able to hear. I'm only seeing what I'm seeing, and I'll just say out loud what I'm seeing,
Okay.
which is just going to be Gary describing stuff. So,
Okay.
go right ahead.
Okay. You settle down and kind of focus on the letter and the connections it makes, and your mind flies. You can feel yourself leaving the focus on your body in Jerselheim and moving at great speed across the land. You see blurred blues and greens and whites before that's replaced with blacks and oranges and browns and just the general air of destruction before suddenly, like a jolt, you're stopped. You see a gnomish family, 5 of them, six of them, all curled up in what looks like a basement. They're in tattered clothes that used to be fair. The room around them seems bare and oddly empty in a very specific way. Like it was a space that had things in it that have now been taken away. The family is 2 adult gnomes and 4 children. The 4 children are sitting around a table chewing on what looks like some hardtack. The adults, looking hairy between them, are scurrying around looking for anything that you can see. Your mind is focused on the female adult as she is kind of searching through her apron and kind of the covers around her, looking for something, anything. But what she's looking for, you can't tell. They seem sad more than injured. There's an air of depression through the air itself, but they all look healthy for the most part. They all look alive, and that's kind of all you get. Your vision cuts as the adult female goes to leave the basement or leave the hovel itself, and steps outside, and you can see briefly maybe 10 feet on either side of her from your vantage point. But what you can tell is that there is grass and dirt that is just cinders now. Very clearly patches that used to be well manicured lawns and forest patches and gardens that are now ash. Whatever has happened here has almost completely razed the environment. And with that, you pull back.
Okay.
And so she was just relaying all of that. As
Yeah,
she
I try to be delicate about it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, they look really depressed.
They look really sad.
Yeah.
But at least they're okay.
Say it how you want to say it. To
So
her.
I describe like each of the individuals and ask her like who, if that's everyone like that she's familiar with. Is there anyone who wasn't there?
No, that sounds right. Yeah.
Okay.
And how did they? But they were there.
They're alive. They don't look injured, but it looks like they're hiding. The brief glimpse I got outside, it doesn't look. It looks like it's been devastated by like a dragon attack.
Okay. So when like Nick like says like, but they were there, they were alive, and like Heather says, or Phaedra says. Phaedra says yes. Like Nick's like visibly like kind of like sags with relief.
I give her a hug.
That was the main concern.
Okay.
was that they were not still alive, that the letter had gotten here and they had died in the time since it was sent.
No, they're still alive.
So yeah, so she's very relieved to hear that, but it's also mixed with still a lot of sadness and a lot of guilt.
Did you live with, or are they your like?
I'm gonna be honest, out of character.
Uh-huh.
Wrote a background for Nyx like 5 years ago, and I
Understandable.
have since lost the sheet and that computer.
Okay.
Every way possible for that to be alive is gone.
Yeah. So I can't. I feel like I wasn't super specific about her family when I like crafted her. Like the relationship I remember focusing on was the relationship she had with the gnome that had taught her like smithing. Not smithing, sorry, locksmithing.
Yes.
The gnome that she had like worked for kind of and like worked with in the town that like taught her like tinkering and stuff. She had a good relationship with him. I remember it was like an older man, but I don't remember like being very specific on her family. So I think
you were not. That's why I kind of structured this way. I'll let you choose however you'd like to. Like, this is your family that you have in that town, whatever your relationship with them.
I would imagine like that fits for me. That like this, like the extended family she has is probably like her only family. Like I feel like, I don't know. That like feels right for like her character path that she chose to take, you know. But yeah, so I would say that she lived with like that family, like the aunt and uncle and the cousins. And she spent a lot of time at the like workshop and like exploring the town and stuff, the area, the forest.
I can send a message to them to let you know you're okay and that we're going to come and try and help.
I don't want to risk telling them something and then
something happens.
You know, we accidentally slip dimensions and maybe we don't get there when we intend to or something like that. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, with our track record.
Yeah. I don't want to like.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything and have it make it worse by accident right now.
That's fair.
But let them know I'm alive, but I'm worried that would at this point just cause further issues. So whatever they think right now, I think I just need to let stand until I can show them otherwise. But but yeah, thank you.
We'll get them out of there.
Yeah.
Or we'll stop this thing. Either way, we'll get your family back.
Yeah, I would like to get there soon.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what Sai says about his contact in the city. And Phaedra's like, you could tell she's like looking at Nyx, but not like looking at her. She's kind of like looking past her a little bit. She's not really quite she's not as talkative as she usually is. Like,
Phaedra?
Yeah. Yeah, she's a little more reserved compared to normal. But is there anything else I can help with? Is there anything else we can do to prep?
I mean, any preparation we can do for like getting safely into there. I don't, I am glad that we have a tree that we can go through. I'm just concerned that when we go through it, we don't really know what we're coming out on the other side of. Like, I just feel like we still don't have a lot of information.
Yeah, I wish I could scry on like the city or the dragon.
Yeah, I wish there was someone I could talk to that like had been there recently or come from there recently.
I mean,
just like gone near it recently, just to like have any more like current information.
I mean, the Voluminata might have some stuff in it about the city, or at least like weaknesses on a dragon. Something we can use to try to like stop like figure out what it's like weak to, or at least like know what it's strong against, or something.
Yeah, and more of like its goals, like why attack the city?
Mhm.
Like why is it gathering its forces to attack the city? And
I'm not. How big is your city? Is it
not,
like?
I mean, we're gnomes. It's not huge.
Okay, that's how that came out. I meant the population size, not the.
Still, I
whatever
think
else.
not gigantic. I
And
just
the
I don't.
population's not very big either. They're all gnomes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Fucked up, man.
It
yikes.
takes her a second. She's like,
Um,
okay, yeah. No, I meant
You grew up with maybe 80 to 100 people.
Papa. Sorry, I got distracted by a very cute dog.
It's fine. Yeah, so maybe just under 100 individuals in the town.
Okay. Cute.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's not a huge town.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, I can look at a map and see how far the capital is from it, or whatever the closest town is. We can also use that as like a place to pop in and then go over. Give us
that might be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because Marlon is dealing with a dog situation right now, I will speak for him and speak through the winds and say,
These two are
I have a teleportation circle that leads to break.
I do have that. I say those things. I say those things, and so does
It also
Tony.
leads to farm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can use
Okay.
that to get to break. Inform them of what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like I would like to talk to some people there. Like, I feel like if the dragon is theoretically amassing forces, that maybe we should see if there's anything we can amass before just starting there. Just to, like, I don't know, have some backup.
Yeah, dragons are no joke.
Dragons are no joke, especially if they have a bunch of minions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like it's hard. Like I wanna go now.
Yeah.
But I know that I can't. Like I know that that's not what we need to do right now. It's just not on a bunch of levels what we need to do right now.
No,
We need to go somewhere and hit somebody. I'm gonna go hit somebody. Let's go do this.
Marlon, you're not there.
Yeah. Private conversation.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
So
The first thing I wanted to do was run and get there, go fight the stupid dragon. But we got to be smart about this, especially if it was just a dragon. That's one thing, but if it's a dragon and like an army and hi, kitty. Sorry. That's gonna make things more complicated.
Yes, it does.
So Phaedra, before we dive into the other half of the things that you want to do, Trev, what are you interested in taking this 2 weeks for? So you haven't actually given me anything, so we're playing this on the fly.
Because I didn't have anything. I think he needs a lot of rest. I think he is exhausted, like physically, mentally, all of it. And like legitimately, unless somebody else needs him for something, this haul has just been too much.
Okay.
And he kind of
So
wants to take it easy. He's like, if somebody wants or like comes and needs him to go somewhere or do something, he's in for it. But otherwise, like, he just needs to slow down for a bit.
I would like to offer a relaxing vacation to Trev because after spending that amount of time near no trees, Aramil is going to go home tree.
Okay.
He would absolutely go along on that.
Just
so not even going to the Feywild, you're going to the Great Forest.
Yeah, I'm going home.
Okay.
I need real tree.
So you and Trev take a fun V, essentially. You leave Jerselheim, you find a tree on the foothills. It takes about a half a day to walk there. You take that tree to the great tree in the Feywild, wave at people, and then take a tree stride from the great tree down to the great tree in the forest. when you arrive, you guys are first struck with the fact that it is getting close to winter, if not in the full of winter. But here in the forest, it is still relatively warm. The foliage and the coverage of the trees creates kind of an insulated environment where it's always very vibrant and pleasant, even in the colder months. Aramil, you're greeted warmly by the druids you used to work with. They're very excited to have you back, even just for a short period of time. They bring you up on the goings of the forest. They tell you about some hot squirrel gossip that's going on. They talk to you about a new family of deer that have moved in a couple acres away. And Trev, you just take this time to be in quiet, or just enjoying the dim light of the forest, enjoying the peaceful serenity of it and the calm. You haven't had a lot of calm in a long time, so.
Yeah. Cool spot, huh?
Oh yeah, this is lovely. It's just nice, you know.
Good place.
Yeah, and you guys basically just spend a week not even broing out, like for the most part doing things separately, but enjoying the nature.
Yeah, chilling.
That's all I need.
This is what I needed. The tree.
Yeah, Armel, you spend a lot of time as an animal.
Yeah. From branch to branch.
Yeah. And then Phaedra.
Wild.
Yeah. So Phaedra, the other half of what you had brought up, you, after that conversation with Nyx and preparing for what comes next, you realize that you want to do something that is a more tangible good as opposed to this leading to an amorphous good. So you find a bunch of the refugees throughout Jerselheim from the monastery and attempt to kind of strike a conversation about rebuilding, going back, doing more. But for the most part, they're not interested right now. The safety of Jerselheim, the safety it provides, especially after having their leader taken away from them, is weighing very heavily among the refugees.
Have any of them had any contact with him at all?
None. He has still not contacted anyone or yeah. But in doing so, you do connect with Kaluna for a bit. And in chatting and realizing you two have a lot in common, you guys kind of sit down with, you ask the question of looking at the Voluminata, something that you've wanted to do for a very long time, but have not had a ton of opportunity to. So you settle in and you begin looking through for various bits of information. I need to make 3 investigation checks.
Okay. Do I know which ones these are for, or are you going to let me know?
I will let you choose the order in which you roll them.
Okay.
For the 3 things you're looking for.
I think the stuff with Nyx is first and foremost in her brain.
Okay.
So that the stuff with that, with like the dragons and the...
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Investigation?
Yep.
Oh no, where'd my thing go? Hang on.
Sorry. You have to be very good at reading this book because it is a gigantic book. It has it has everything. It has all basic known information, but finding it.
No, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I gathered. Investigation. Oh, good. I get 21.
Okay. You learn as much as humanly possible in one day about 2 things. One, Hasper and the surrounding area. You know that it is a very prosperous area. Because it's not on any of the major fields, it's mostly what it exports to people are berries, forestry goods, wood that is harvested. A pretty thriving economy for a small gnomish settlement. You learn a lot about the culture, what goes on there, how to get in and out. It's on the foothills of the Wolfthorn Mountains, so for the most part, it's pretty sheltered to the west. On the other side of the mountains are the the bogs and swamps that lead to Nolans, and that surrounding area. So, but for the most part, the two cultures are pretty separate. You do learn as well that the distance between Hasper and Break is about 200 miles or so. So close, but not incredibly close.
How many days a journey would that be?
Like 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
On horseback at least. On foot, it could take about a week.
Okay.
And you also gain some good information about dragons, specifically blue dragons.
Okay.
So it has no weaknesses per se.
Naturally, yeah.
It is an ancient dragon. It's a fucked up mean thing.
Mm-hmm.
You do know that blue dragons in particular are very warlike. They're a little bit less directly greedy than its counterparts. So whereas white dragons are known for being relatively savage, black dragons are known for being relatively greedy, green dragons are known for being very strife, and red dragons are known for being very cruel. Blue dragons, for the most part, are much more about control. They like to exert their presence over things.
So it's not unusual that it's doing what it's doing?
For a blue dragon, no. The things that it's doing is not particularly unusual.
Okay.
And that's kind of that. You do know its breath. You do know that it is a lightning-based dragon.
Avoid that then. Cool.
Which, if Sai was here, his ears would perk up over something that I told him earlier today.
His image is frozen. He looks wistfully.
Oh, you're here. You're just frozen.
My cam's frozen, but I'm here.
Yes, Sai feels a prickle on the back of his
Sorry, the picture and the tint and everything, it just looks like an album cover.
Yeah, a little bit.
And
Do I see Stonefang's name in there anywhere? Like, does it list any known dragons?
It's an ancient blue dragon, but it's not that ancient.
Okay.
So no.
Okay.
You also gather a little bit of information about its hordes. So blue dragons tend to have hordes of worms, so smaller flying dragon-like creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And their kobolds traditionally are much dumber than the average kobold.
Oh, good.
But that does mean that they're much more ferocious in battle. They don't think a lot.
Fair enough.
And that's kind of what you get out of that one.
Okay, cool.
Next one. You want this to be about the warlock stuff or the weapon stuff?
The warlock stuff. I'm looking to see if I can find any information about being able to forcefully break a pact or converting a pact from one deity to another. So. Ooh, better that time. Still investigation?
Yep.
23.
You find evidence that it's happened. You find evidence of it not immediately killing the person who had pledged their soul, but traditionally only if they're being if they're pledging themselves to a force who is stronger than the previous force.
Okay.
So if they're moving up in the world in the power level, so to speak, traditionally they will be okay. A lateral move or a move to a less powerful individual will usually result in the death, just both via the power vacuum left within the individual who is repacking themselves, and also the immediate and murderous control that the previous patron will put over their person.
Okay.
Now, the information you find doesn't say whether or not the person fully recovers, if the scars left on their soul, so to speak, ever fully heal. Okay. But a number of them do have, successful kind of transition side to side. In game mechanics side, the thing you notice most of all is that the magic changes. So where the person would have to go from being a warlock essentially to a paladin.
Okay.
They're pledging their soul as opposed to pledging their soul as a gift. They're pledging their soul in kind of recompense.
Okay.
So that is the big difference. But the one thing you don't find is whether or not someone who has brought their patron into their blood, so to speak, as opposed to bargaining with their soul, has been able to free themselves.
Yeah. Okay. I
it
didn't think
seems-
I was going to find much, but I figured it would be worth a look.
Yeah. It seems that Trev and his order are either a little bit newer or a little bit more less researched. Blood magic in general is just less researched.
Okay.
Third one.
That was the weapons. 17.
You do find some information that speaks about weapons that can walk between realms or created by something called realm, created by the chaoses. A lot of it is wrapped up in chaotic lore of the primal chaoses itself. But the thing you notice most of all is that passages that would speak about these weapons seem curiously blank.
Okay. Like they've been like it's been removed.
Either removed or rewritten, references pulled out. You find hanger sentences. You find sentences that start and stop without notice. It would appear that this information has been edited or removed.
Okay. All right. That was just while we're here, there's more pressing matters, so something to look into later. But there's more concerns right now, so might be something she'll come back to. But for right now, she's mostly just concerned about Nyx and Trev. So that was her first concerns. Yeah, I forget because this is again it's been a bit. Where did Quentin say he was going?
He was giving himself up to the cultists of Tiamat.
That was it. Thank you.
To protect his partner.
Right.
Who you've gotten leading references, maybe a gold dragon that lives somewhere within the Ironclad Mountains.
Is that anywhere near the capital?
No. So there are two main mountain regions on this continent.
Uh-huh.
There's the Wolfsborn, which is what kind of runs from north to south, and there's the Ironclad, which is where you are now.
Okay, got it. All right, yeah. Thank you.
Ironclad, where the monastery is, it's where Jerselheim is built into. It's
Gotcha.
the much larger range.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Phaedra's the type who doesn't really take vacations much. She kind of tends to just pour herself into researching, especially right now. So she's using this time that she has to do as much research as possible. I don't want to take up too much more time, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Nyx, is there anything else you wanted to get done?
No. That was mostly it, yeah.
So then we'll dive into Psy, which is going to be a lot of fun to play into with you staring wistfully into the distance.
Yeah. Just imagine I'm thinking really hard about everything I say.
Yeah, so after hearing everything that happened in Asper and wanting to get more information about what's happening in Break and whatnot, you reach out to a couple of different contacts. The one that you think would have the most information is the hardest to reach, but none of they don't get back to you very quickly, but the other ones do. They tell you information that Break seems to be arming itself for war, and that there has been a forced conscription throughout the lands of the Duna Empire.
Fun.
But that's kind of all you get from them. Do you want to start working on your other special project now?
Yeah. So when they said they were going to go to the World Tree by the Feywild, I was going to hit the road with them.
Okay.
Just to get to the Feywild because I have some business to take care of there.
Yeah, you thumb your way to the Feywild with Trev and Armil, and then jump off.
One
Kind of on
thing
the first stop.
I do want to ask before we depart, I want to ask Trev if there's any messages he wants me to deliver while I'm there.
Nah, not really.
What did you guys do when you take the next train?
And so you are now in the Feywild.
So give me a bit of a reminder of the information that I have about those people that I'm looking to.
About which people?
The people who look like me.
You know that one of them got killed, and that they had come into Jerselheim as a diplomat.
Do I know from where?
No.
And they were killed in a very creepy, ritualistic way, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm gonna call up one of my contacts, somebody who owes me a favor. Green hag by the name of Siobhan.
Okay. You wander out into the the forest of the Sealy, make your way through some of the smaller encampments of fey creatures until you come to a still glowing and glittering, but much more wet and soft area.
Yeah.
It's not quite a swamp, but it does have that kind of feeling. It's more of a drowned forest. The trees are still growing quite vibrantly, and there's still a lot of kind of bright moss and lichen throughout, but the ground itself is quite soft. And after walking for a couple of other acres, the water has begun to reach your ankles. Before you reach a familiar clearing, there's a small hovel built on some floating wood, some floating logs, large enough to sit two, probably comfortably sleep one. You've been here before.
Yep. Okay. If you're around,
You can call out to her if you'd like.
I do, and I wrap the hilt of my sword on a tree just to make some noise too.
Okay.
Yell out for her.
Okay. There's a brief silence, and then from inside the hovel you hear, "Yes."
Siobhan, I've come to call in that favor you owe me.
Is that you, dear boy?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted.
Is it?
It's
I'm
me.
not surprised it's a size friend.
Whoa, friend is. Come out and talk. I have business for you.
You come in.
I am not going in there.
If you want my... Oh, fuck you, Craig. I knew this was coming. If you want my assistance and want to get your favor, you need to answer.
Fucking hell. Promise me safe passage.
Pay the troll
I
toll.
s-
damn it.
I swear upon my head you will not be harmed here.
That thing's head is hollow.
Okay. I walk in with my sword drawn.
Okay. You wade across the kind of the way the water in between the trees and the that kind of coven. Look inside, and sure enough, Siobhan is kind of curled up in one of the corners, kind of looking at you with bright, glowing yellow eyes, yellowed skin, long, wavy, white hair. Green hags aren't traditionally as ugly as black hags or swamp hags, but they're still not an attractive creature. As it looks at you and goes, Yes, dear Sai, welcome back.
I thought I'd never be back here.
I didn't either.
Like I said, I'm calling in a favor.
Yes.
This is not an official court request. This is for me personally.
Oh, you're saying you want to cash in your own favor, yes?
Yes.
Very well. It sort of rears up a bit and looks up at you. Now, what can old Siobhan do for you?
Shit. Timeline. The killing would have happened, what?
About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Week and a half ago? 2 weeks ago? Okay. So, in Drisselheim, right?
Yes.
All right. So, a diplomat was murdered in the dwarven city of Drisselheim. Brutally murdered. I need to know more information about him and where he comes from and who killed him and why.
I assume then you've brought me a focus of some kind I can use to play with.
But you could say that. And I believe I still have the head in my bag of holding.
And I had the book, I think.
Yes, you did.
The head was nicely, dear boy. You know that so well.
Yeah.
It sort of unfolds a hand out to you and
Yeah.
takes it and sets it down on the floor in front of it.
Disgusting as this thing is, yeah.
It kind of pries open the eyes of the head and picks it up to look into it, and you can see green Seelie magic kind of drifting out of its fingers into the head. The eyes roll back a couple of times as the focus itself seems to speak with the hag, at which point it begins to speak in a different voice. I was brought here, not told why. I was lucky enough to be given a job, but those I don't know. I was told to go there, but for what I couldn't say. And when arrived, I spoke words that I did not know the meaning. I want to live, and yet I must die. For reasons I do not know why. And with that, the eyes sort of stop spinning in the head. The hag kind of sits it down, looks over you, and goes, "Well, I don't think that could have been more cryptic even if I tried."
Yeah, but you're loving this, aren't you?
Oh, yes, dear boy. You know I will very happily learn more if you just want to make a new bargain.
Nice try, but you haven't given me the answers that I came seeking. Your debt is not cleared.
I told you all this head knows about its current situation.
Indeed, that's not what I asked for. You should pay me.
Fine. What specifically do you want to know?
Who he is, where he comes from, and who killed him. I don't need this information right away. You can take your time. Say 1 month.
Very well. I'll spend 1 month with the head and go as deep as I can.
Come now. I know you have spies out in the material plane.
Very well. I will information gather as much as possible, though I do have a curious question. Mostly I want to know why he looks like you.
That is not part of our bargain.
Oh, but isn't it? I mean, after all, if it finds out why he got killed, isn't that part of the game.
Only if it comes up in the course of your investigation.
Very well. It sort of snarls and kind of flips his shoulder at you.
Oh, and if you think to run to my superiors about this to tell them I'm working on my own project, don't worry. They'll already know.
If there's anything I've learned about your kind, Mr. Valenkier, it's that I know not to ask questions when I'm not allowed to.
Good. Good. And that's why I come to you, because you're smart. Okay. With that, I'll take my leave.
Okay. You extract yourself from the hovel and kind of slurp your way back.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, boy.
a couple of days later, you've found your way back to Jerselheim, working on a couple of small projects. Sourcing some wood, sourcing some phoenix tail.
Oh.
Huh?
Well, you're letting me do this now?
I'm just saying you're working on it. I'm not saying you're making progress on it. When
I
you
have
do
an
hear
idea
back,
for the dragon, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, when you do hear back from your bounty hunter, they excuse themselves for taking some time to respond.
Mm-hmm.
They were hunting a pack of dire bear and lost 3 of their own within the hall. So all in all, a pretty solid hunt. They say that they were hunting the bears on command of the Duna Empire. They're sourcing as much meat as possible, which means larger game is being requested, as there seems to be a large military movement being planned. From what you can gather from them, they're not considering the issue with Hasper of the dragon, but there seems to be something else stirring up the city as well.
Okay.
They say that for the most part, the only people left in Break are marshaled soldiers. A lot of the merchants have fled the city. And it seems to be preparing for a long winter.
Okay. Now I'm assuming this is all through like letters and correspondence kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like no direct face-to-face.
Yeah, it's via this world's equivalent of Owl Post.
Okay. So I will let him know that I'll be available near break.
Okay.
Should he require my help on a big hunt. And he'll probably get the understanding that like this guy wants the biggest thing, so the dragon.
Yeah. The sparrow takes off with that message, and a couple of days later it returns with a simple scrawled message on it that says, "The hall is ready."
Cool. And I have just one more thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wherever the letter from the blacksmith I trained under came from.
Yep.
I know something's up. I can't really determine what. I'll just send a message saying that he can contact me in break. This guy would be in break, right?
Theoretically.
So I'll tell him that I'll tell him that I've been conscripted in break and can speak with him. And I'll give him an address of a safe house I have.
Okay.
And I'll give him a time frame of like a month.
Okay. You do that. And after that 2-week period, now knowing the information from Sign, from Phaedra, you all regather and prepare for your incursion into Break. into Hasper, I should say, to take out a dragon.
Yeah.
Now, before we go this week, just so I know how we're going to prepare this, or just so I know how to prepare this, are you guys tree striding there, or are you going to teleportation circle to break?
Yeah.
Morgan, remind me what teleportation circles you have now.
I relay that it is going to take several days to get to Hasper from Bray.
I mean, we could always also just tree stride there once we're in break.
Why do we need to go to break for
Well, we
Sonic?
just
Yeah, more importantly, why do we need to go there first?
Well, first off, they probably have more information about what we're up against, considering they're marshaling an army. And B, if that's not the only threat around, then there might be something that we're missing.
Yeah, I mean, Nyx had said it, which only Phaedra knows. But when Phaedra was talking with Nyx, like she did mention also possibly wanting to go and see if there was like any allies we could find, any more information we could find before we just like blindly charge into.
There we go.
Hey, Heather's back.
In which,
Hi.
Besides,
Sorry for that.
there's the dragon and a bunch of other monsters.
Yeah.
Yes. So we know we want to try and get some assistance from Break.
Yeah.
We could always from Break tree stride if we really need to get there right away.
exactly, yeah.
But
There's trees there, right? Like it's not like it's not
I assume
Sounds
Yeah.
like there's trees there. It takes me an awful long time to get one of those fuckers ready. So the teleportation circles, that is. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I have to imagine that Drisselheim has an official teleportation circle linking to break. It's a capital.
Not then Morgan has one at least.
I know break is one of the things I have.
Right.
I
I'm
don't
saying,
know about like official.
I'm saying, like, would Drisselheim itself allow us to use theirs?
I mean, we can ask.
Yeah.
For sure. I have another question: is do we have any other contacts in break other than some shady guy who Star knows?
I mean,
Is or is not there?
he's there.
He's there.
He's
No,
there.
not that we're aware of. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
Like, No, I don't think any people we've run into have said they were going there, as far as I remember.
You think your friend will help us, Star?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he will. If there's something in it for him.
He doesn't get all of the dragon. I get some of it too.
Yeah, no. He's in line behind me. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
So
All right.
He's the dude who taught me how to do this. So
Okay.
he knows the score.
Need some of those teeth and
Does
scales.
he? I mean, no.
Yeah.
I mean, also,
If it's an ancient dragon, that's going to be worth a lot.
is there anyone we can talk to? Like, not that I'm not all for shady friend, but like, is there
Like some
anyone?
leader of the city or
Yeah,
something,
like
yeah.
if he says they're like amassing an army of their
Yeah.
own, like, is there any? I don't know. I mean, I guess
Like-
maybe your
Oh,
would have
A
all
general or something, like someone official that we could talk to.
They
Um,
wouldn't necessarily be perfectly honest or anything, but just like I just want to know like what.
some type of leader of the city or like someone
Yeah.
who's gonna.
would Vondra possibly know? Like,
I mean,
could I ask
Vondra
her?
might know who's in charge of break,
Like,
but
do you think, like, through back and forth sending, I can ask her if we could use her name? I don't know if we have any clout. I don't know.
How far are Drisselheim and Break from each other?
they're a lake away.
So why don't we use the Golden Forge's clout if they let us? Or
Oh.
like a letter of introduction to somebody.
That's also a fair option, but I didn't.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't. I just figured because Vondra was pretty high up ranking, if I recall. But I, again, can't quite remember what her actual position was.
So Vondra, before becoming the kind of head of the kind of council that is now running Lathander, was the commander in charge of the wall, the edge,
Right.
that separated the main continent from the wastes. You do recall that the wall was a a tri-military agreement between the Dwarven Empire, the Duna Empire, and the Elves.
Okay.
As Vondra may have been the commander of the entire thing, she did have under her command human soldiers. You got one of them killed out in the wastes.
I mean,
so she may know and may have some clout. You know, the Golden Forges might also have some clout.
can't hurt to have multiple.
There's clout to be had.
I'll send a sending email asking if she could be in my letter of recommendation or so.
Sure. She responds back relatively quickly. Yeah, she responds back relatively quickly because it is ascending, so it has to come quick. That when you arrive, do not seek counsel with Jarl Burl. He has lost his mind.
Okay.
Okay.
There seems to be some bad blood right now between Vondra and whoever's in charge of Break.
Okay, so avoid that guy. Cool.
But she does give you a name, which is Jarl Barl.
Jarl Barl. Okay. Okay.
Is-
Good to know.
Are you? Never mind.
Word.
Okay.
All right, so we have some leads. Do we want to get a note from Jerselheim from the Golden Forges?
Or the council?
Yeah, go to council.
Can't hurt.
Yeah, I feel like if we just cover our bases just to be safe.
Yeah, especially if
Um,
Bondra's on rough terms with somebody there.
Yeah, and if we're trying to get them to help us, save a town.
You request a meeting in the Yarmul Bastion. Head down, meet before the council. Explain your request. Sylvia says, "Well, yes, I will happily write you a letter of introduction, but why do you want to go to the Duna at the moment? That's a hell."
I let her know.
And for once, you actually...
I was going to say I let her know about the dragon.
She sort of nods and says, "Well, yes, we're aware of the dragon crisis as well, but Jarl Barl has politely requested that we stop meddling in the affairs of his empire, so we've been unable to assist."
Okay. Well, we've an acquaintance of ours has also asked for assistance. So
Sylvie kind of puts up her hands and goes, I will happily, again, write you this letter. I give you my full blessing of going forth. Something should be done about this scourge before it moves east and begins to look towards our home here. It's just I fear you will not be received pleasantly.
it won't be that new for us, I suppose.
This is like fucking,
I mean,
fucking road.
can't be if they say no,
Bitch. Yeah.
then okay. We're still gonna go try and help.
Very well, and she, has a letter drafted up that says, you're all heroes of Jerusalem, heroes of the city of Lathander, heroes of the realm at this point.
Can I just say to her just for the record, if we required help with that dragon, regardless of Arl Jarl, would that be something we could request of you?
Certainly, we would. For you all, we would happily marshal the armies and march south.
Okay. How much notice would you need?
Because I can just send a message.
It takes approximately 2 weeks of hard marching, plus sailing across the Great Lake to head to Hasper. But so with 2 weeks, we could probably arrive. As she says that, the leader of the oh shit, it's been so long I've forgotten the names of the houses in Jerusalem. Hang on.
The acapellas.
No,
Operata.
not the operata.
Farfalla.
The theories.
No caveats.
Weenie.
All of you are assholes.
Go hang a salami on a lasagna hug. They're the house that controls all the palindromes in the city.
You're all what we politely refer to as bad people.
What our
Proud of it.
adaptation says.
Hang on.
I think we're cool.
Anyway, the money house, the ones who are a bunch of dickheads, kind of speaks up and goes, "Well, you're not allowed to make those decisions for us. We all have to make those decisions within our own houses." And Sylvia sort of looked at him and goes, "I am the leader of this council. I'm allowed to make these decisions as need be." And for once, you actually see, for the first time that you've had, that was the head of the Baroda. That's it.
The Barada.
No, the Maroda. For the first time that you've had these meetings, you see what is your name? Former High Arbiter, now just Arbiter Ironstag, kind of lean up and say, "Well, at the very least, if we need approval from the various houses, House Operato will happily assist in this endeavor." And you can actually see Sylvia take a moment of what? And Gotenks kind of clears his throat and goes, "Well, you guys know the House Golden Forge will also be there in full." I'm sorry, did you just say the opera? And then it just sort of devolves into weird shouting, not quite finger pointing, but more figuring out what the fuck's going on. And you all very politely leave the room.
Someone in that room is just yelling, "Gavel, gavel, gavel, gavel."
Yeah, the head of the Maroda realizes they're outnumbered suddenly and is trying to get the fifth house on board, and they're just kind of nah, whatever. It's all a mess. But for the most part,
politely mentioning that they're next time a purple worm comes attacking.
Yeah. For the most part, 3 out of the 5 houses kind of pledge themselves, or churches pledge themselves, and you all take the bastion.
Sweet.
Okay.
It's amazing this place is still standing.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
I mean, they like us, so.
That's exactly.
That's the problem.
That's why I'm saying not the best judge of character.
So if we needed to send a message to them in the future, would we be able to do that?
I could easily, yeah.
Okay.
I keep that spell on me all the time.
Okay. Concerned that it would take them a little while to get there, but it's still good. Still good to know that we would have something from here if we needed. We just might have to wait.
I want to say, so I lost my notes during the great Google Docs crash of 2017. Or whenever it was.
2019.
Was it 2019?
Yeah, it was just last year.
God, I felt like it was 2018 when it happened. Okay, either way, I lost my notes that tells me exactly how many places, but I'm certain that it's at least Break, Jerselheim, and wherever the hell we are, the Wilds, I believe. I
looked it up, and I will have to make sure that these notes are clean. But you do have Lathander, Break, the Monastery, Jerselheim, as I mentioned, and then I believe you also have Dis.
That's right, I do have Dis.
Yes.
I remember.
I believe you have a circle that no longer works, or at the very least needs some tweaking and fine tuning that may lead to the Lost City of Glass.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So wait, so do I not have? Never mind.
What's up?
Nothing. I was like, do I not have Jerselheim?
Yeah. You have Jerselheim, Break, Lathander, the Monastery, via being there.
Yeah, no, I got the
one
list.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making it a goal of Marleman to like stamp his passport in all those places in a certain way. You know what I mean? Like eventually know all of the teleportation circles. So.
All right. So, how would you guys like to get to where you're going?
Well, I guess
Teleportation
teleport
circle.
to break and then tree, hopefully, with help or more information or something to ask for.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Break, figure out what the hell's going on, who can help us.
Does it
and then
cost?
move on.
Does it cost Aramil a spell slot to do this?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that instead.
Well, I don't. Does he know any trees in break?
That's
But there aren't many.
My understand. I thought that was the case. Okay, then no. Then I will. We're good.
Okay. Are you going to cast the spell, or are you going to head to the silver temple where the Jerselheim teleportation circle is?
I would like to go there first and see if there are any else that I can learn first.
Sure. You
then
all
hopefully take theirs.
You all make your way through the city. You resupply to whatever you need to resupply with.
Shit.
You're also able to find 5 healing potions, regular healing potions. They're able to buy for about 150 gold if you so choose.
I'm okay.
I might get a couple of those.
I still have Uno.
I don't know if I have any money.
Yeah, I'm like almost out of money at this point.
I mean, you guys can go to the bank in
I'm not.
Time as well and take out some cash. You have plenty.
I forgot that I have in my list here. It says 200 platinum pieces.
You have those.
Yeah.
Which I have not.
Okay.
Fucking bank.
Yeah, I have.
We're good. I
200 gold,
forgot that I had that.
I was gonna say, dude, we got so much money from that beholder. Like
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That was a worthy fight.
Have we split that, or was
a worthy fight next? The hairs on the back of your head just stand up. You guys head over to the Silver Temple. Walk in through the doors. The first thing you see is that the slightly pimply-faced dwarven teen who was working the front desk, so to speak, when you guys first arrived here in Jerselheim with a lot of refugees.
Is his name Derek?
You didn't actually ask his name. He kind of looks up from a thing that he very quickly hides under the counter as you all enter and goes, well, welcome to the Silver Temple where we can send you where you want to go. Where do you want to go today?
Was that supposed to be a jingle?
Can I try and see what it was he was hiding?
Make a perception check.
No, it's funnier this way.
I don't know, call him out. It's porn or something.
17.
I can roll 0 dice and guess that it's a comic book.
Yeah, it's a comic book of some kind.
Cool. Good to know.
And whoever just said, was that supposed to be a jingle, looks at them and goes, we're supposed to say that to everyone who comes in here.
I'm sorry.
Where would you like to go today?
What do you offer? And
Well,
may
right-
I see the runes?
The runes are under careful lock and key to paying customers only, sir.
We are going to pay.
Are you going to pay for each one?
We're going to pay.
How much is it for each one?
Double check, cut it open.
It depends on the distance.
Oh, for fuck's sake, kid.
Okay.
It's usually about 100 gold per 100 miles.
And you know what? We have the money. Why don't you just show this nice
He also
man
has the spell
everything?
Yeah.
I also have the spell slot. I'm not.
Save money. We have the spell slot.
It's also per person, right?
No, it's just for casting.
Sweet, we can like Uber pool this.
Oh man.
But again, the whole idea is for you to actually like get a glimpse at the sigils for each city, right?
That's kind of what I want to do, but there are ways for me to do that. I'm not worried about it.
I feel like you can just ask.
Also, we did have a discussion of like we're loaded with money. So
Is
Oh,
he,
yeah.
is this
yeah.
guy the only guy here? This one guy?
Yes, he seems to be.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Nix, I'm gonna peer over to the side and I'm gonna be like, go. Can you draw the runes in the other room if I distract this dweeb?
Can I? I don't know what Nix's artistic abilities are.
It's. Oh shit.
You can try.
Mine are pretty good, but I'm not
You
very
can
good. at
certainly try.
Easy. Oh, is it?
Like, what would there be consequences for Nix being a bad artist and giving him a shitty stuff?
Potentially.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Maybe. Chances are it just wouldn't work. But there is with me.
Like, would you recognize if it was like wrong?
No.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
No.
All right. Let me try a short third to this. That was a nice comic book you had there, kid. Mind if I see it?
It's the newest issue.
Oh, maybe you're in it, Sai.
Yeah, maybe they caught up to me. I don't know.
He kind of takes it out from under the thing and kind of hands it over. And sure enough, it is the Battle with the Purple Worm.
Hooray!
Hey.
On the comic book form. So Sai, you are in it. You're not painted glowingly.
Oh.
You're kind of
Wait, did he get knocked out in that battle too?
No.
no.
So the world
but-
critic.
So we're on the introduction screen where Trunks' box has now been replaced with yours, and you're referred to as the sullen newcomer.
You know what? All things considered.
I feel like Trunks had a hand in this. Whether
He wasn't
did
here.
or
He was in a
didn't,
different plane.
I still blame him.
Jay, I can see the emotion on your face.
I just
Oh,
think
yeah.
Get
Yeah.
actually had some sort of hand in this.
So I'm just like, oh, so you recognize us, obviously.
Oh, yes, sir. I recognize you because we've met before.
Right. That's kind of my point. Is you know who we are.
I do.
So you know what we've done for the city, correct?
I do.
So maybe I can persuade you to just let us see these so that we can help not only this city but other cities.
Make a
You
persuasion
can be
check.
part of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was kind of what I was gonna aim to do, but you beat me to
On
it.
a diplomatic
Christ,
mission.
I wasn't ready for fucking Karen Valancourt here.
Well, I got a natural 20, so that would be
Jesus, neither was he.
30 total.
Sai, let me talk to your
Well,
manager, Valentier.
14. Yeah.
Yep, all right.
I don't
He
get
sort
to do
of
this often, but I'm good when I do.
he kind of looks at you, sighs, and says, "Well, I really don't want to lose my job, but I think I could probably show you one of them, and it'll be okay."
We can sign your comic.
Put my hand on your shoulder and be like, that'd be great, kid.
We'll
What's
sign
your
your
name?
comic.
What's your name? Yeah.
Dale.
Dale, okay. Do you want me to sign your comic? Do you want us to sign it?
Yes, please. Kind of
Yeah,
hands it out to you.
Yeah. You
So,
didn't even
you
have to ask. I have already grabbed it and I have already
Yeah.
started signing my name underneath the character introduction for myself.
Okay.
Excellent.
You're still in there as the goofy one,
Have any of our
and your name is still spelled wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna cross my name out with one single line across it, write it, and sign it.
Okay. You do that.
Can I take? I'm
Check
assuming
off
that
signature.
there's some type of woodland debris on me, like a stick or twig or something.
Just like make a
Probably.
leaf pressing in the book.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna stick it in the book form and be like, "Here you go, kid. You know,
So good.
Okay.
tree can grow to be the mightiest oak."
You like grab a leaf and like put it in like somewhere in the pages and just close it and just say, "Here you go."
I'll draw a little caricature of us.
Okay.
That's really cute. Yeah.
And he
So
takes
what-
it back.
Yeah. What are the locations he offers?
So he offers the ability to look at one of four. He lets you look at one that brings you to the city of Dun, D-U-N. which is Dis's sister city in the elemental plane of Earth. He shows you one that shows you, or that would bring you to the floating city. I have not come up with a name for that yet, but
I bet they have airships there.
Or air Genasi.
It is
assuredly.
It is the floating city, the main and only city in the elemental plane of air. He also shows you the a symbol you already know, or he offers you Lathander, and you guys are like, no, we got that one.
I got that one. We're good. Yeah.
And then he shows you one for a place none of you have actually heard of before, called Gren.
Called Seattle.
Yeah.
Gren, Gren.
Sioux
Yes,
Falls.
Gren. And he goes, no one's ever used this one before, but we have it.
Where is it?
What do you know about it?
I know that it's our most expensive offering, so it must be really far away.
Do you know if it's on this continent?
I don't think so.
It says 100 gold for 100 miles, right?
Yeah.
How much is the trip there?
12,000.
Jeez.
Okay.
1,200 miles?
Hey,
Can I go
guys.
take a look at that one, please?
Yeah.
Sure. He kind of turns the book
For the
around and
record,
shows it to you.
did he actually show me all of them?
He shows you the name of them.
Okay, so I don't know the runes for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let me erase those last two that I wrote. Okay. Gren is the one that's like the most expensive place in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going there. Well, we're going to look at that. We're not going to go there, but I'm going to go jot that thing down. Just because it's the most expensive place.
That's getting filed into the that will come up soon category.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. It's Chekhov's dweeb over here. We're going to have to come back to this guy. Unless I get this.
We do have to go to Dunn at some point, so we can always
Well,
get
if we
there
go
from
to
here.
this, we can get to done.
We'll get this done.
Jesus
There's
Christ.
There we go.
Womp, 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 womp.
All right.
You did this,
Yeah.
Gary.
You're
I
right.
know.
While
No,
he's
he
doing
didn't,
all this
though. He
scribbling-
really didn't, though.
Yeah, While the scribbling is happening, Trev's going to realize he never actually grabbed the book to sign it and go back. And
Okay.
first of all, open up the book and just write Trev rules okay on it. And then
Okay.
leave, like, somewhere surreptitiously on or around the kid's desk or belongings. Let's see, how much money am I leaving for this gig? Because I feel bad.
Oh.
I mean, he's probably
Yeah,
still going
but-
to charge you for the trip to wherever you're going.
That's not the point. That's fine.
Yeah. I'll maybe decide that part later.
I mean,
I'm thinking about it, though, because I feel bad.
yeah.
Okay. So, Marlon, you write down those symbols. You get down that teleportation circle. He kind of steps back and closes the book, and says, "Now, where do you guys want to go?"
Nowhere by.
Oh, okay.
She's kidding. She's kidding.
Oh,
I wasn't.
Dale started.
Also.
Okay.
To break, please, young man.
Yeah.
Certainly, that'll be 350 gold, please.
God damn.
Sure. I give
All
him
right,
500
all right.
and say, keep
Yeah,
the change.
between the six of us, we could 350 gold. That's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Listen.
I mean,
You
you could
handed over.
just do it free instead of spending money, but all right.
He counts it up and goes, "Thank you. Follow me, please," and leads you guys
Supporting
down a
local
hallway
businesses, Phaedra. Come on.
into a door that's marked with a dwarven symbol that says, "None of you read dwarven, so it doesn't matter." Leads you into the room. Inside, there's a carved circle on the floor with the familiar runes of, well, familiar to Marleman because he knows this one already. You guys stand aboard it, and he kind of walks over to a wall and lays a hand on it. And says, "Have a good trip. We'll see you back here as soon as you can."
That's not how that joke goes. And then I
And
go,
then you guys are gone.
It occurs to me, this is a city marshaling for war.
Yep.
We might be coming in hot.
oh fuck.
And so you guys
I was gonna say I'm very. I have those letters
It's not like
pressed.
teleporter. It's not like we like.
I have the
Yeah,
letters.
we're at like. I mean, I assume there's going to be like custom, like teleporting customs at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
You all thunk onto the ground in this city, or in this dark room that very clearly has not been used for a while. There's a fine layer of dust on the floor. But some of it has been disturbed, both by the magic that you've all come through and the fact that the door on the other side of the room is open. And standing in the door is a human woman in full kind of plate mail, holding a spear in your directions, and shouting, "What do you want? We want nothing of it!" And we'll pick up from there next time.
All right.
We get the warmest receptions.
You guys do. You always do.
That's why I was like, no letter is gonna make us worthy.
Yeah, well,
We're gonna get it, and they're
They're
either gonna
standing in the front,
or-
letters up, and this person is still like spear ready to go.
What level of spell is teleportation?
So second level spell?
Fourth,
Sixth? No.
fifth.
It's got to be up there.
I don't know off the top of my hand. Hold on.
I'll check. Oh, let me turn this off. No, guys.
It is fifth.